what happens when you get an ex-consultant, an ex-entrepreneur, and an ex-journalist together for a few drinks and fries.
Hello everyone. So this week again, it's we are recording at a slightly unusual time, Sunday afternoon. So it's sort of lazy, properly lazy, overcast Sunday afternoon, and we don't have Rohit yet, who is still enjoying the beaches at an undisclosed location and ferries. So he will have a lot to talk about when he comes back. But in this episode, we'll kick it off. Yeah, Harish, right?
Yeah. I mean, this week we had a few Twitter engagements
Yeah.
on Twitter. We had a good discussion on environment, environment and energy and its impact. And we had a good discussion there. And so at least we have a few people, giving their thoughts. So
Yeah,
that is a
that
good
was
sign.
something that was something we always wanted. The people
Uh,
giving us feedback because we have talked about in our 13, 14 episodes pretty much everything under the sun. Everything not under the sun. I mean that's an exaggeration, but
yeah.
everything that is the whatever the has
we
been
we are in the gray area
yeah
basically.
whatever was sort of making news in that week. We've talked about it, so including environment, including all the ESG frauds. So what are people saying? I didn't see all the comments.
So basically, it was a discussion on. So India released two tranches of for the PLI. One was for
Yeah,
PV manufacturing, and
yeah,
other one was for semiconductors.
yeah.
So what has happened is across the world, around the world, even America has seen this. So the discussion went this way. So my point was that we have PV manufacturing kind
Mm-hmm.
of on the slowdown
Mm,
because we saw the reliability of renewable energy in Germany
mm,
or Netherlands, whichever European country where it is close
mm,
to 41, 45%, and they were the pioneers in this. I mean, they were really boasting about it that France and all were shutting down nuclear reactors because they were energy surplus and they wanted
mm.
to really go green.
Yeah.
So with this Russia-Ukraine conflict, with the rising gas power and Russia basically saying shutting down the wall, saying pay in rubles or no, this so-called renewable energy, which was so dependent on, became non-dependent. I mean, industries are shutting down in Germany, which is basically Germany is your fertilizer plant of the world. I mean, India is trying
Mm,
to manufacture our own desi fertilizers and things
mm,
like that. But with Germany shutting down or running it on half power, UK giving subsidies on power bills, US again they are rising the energy prices. France is restarting their nuclear energy. So basically, whatever rivers are running in France will now warm up because all the hot water is going into the rivers. I
mm.
mean, it's not basically your ecosystem, your river ecosystem will be damaged because it's supposed to be cold, and
Mm.
suddenly you put
Is
in.
this are all these developments somehow against renewable? All the
No, it was on the reliability of renewable. So
okay.
India is now investing more in the sector.
Maybe we haven't reached that size yet. All these countries were too dependent on renewable. 50%, 60% of the power was being generated by renewable. We are
Y-
still somewhat short. So we can go up to 25% with full speed. Then what that does is China has complete monopoly on like most manufactured things, also on modules and PV modules and all of that. So here people are setting up plants, getting Chinese modules while domestic capacity is very low. So I think we are not moving to a direction where hamara we have what I think 270 gigawatt of our capacity we need or capacity we use. 270 gigawatt mein solar is about 53 gigawatt. Wind is some 40 gigawatts. So I think we can still go up to 150 or
No,
something.
my point was why invest in industry? I
That
mean,
is not
instead of
reliable.
it,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not reliable and it is not very what, space constraint. I mean, For example, you have two types of urban living. One is this Delhi type where
Yeah.
houses are very close by and there is no space other than the rooftop solar system.
Mm.
And then you have the other villa type or the huge apartment complex types
Yeah.
where space is very important. I mean, every
Mm.
inch counts. I mean, that
Yeah.
BJP councillor who got arrested in Noida was
Yeah. Encroaching
arrested for
on space. Yeah.
uh, and he planted a few trees in the
Yeah.
grass. I mean, he encroached area. Not that I'm
Mm.
giving him a green chit on that, but still, his it all started from him planting
Mm. Mm.
trees or some uprooting some plantation on the greenery.
Yeah.
So people are very space conscious, and you
Uh,
start. I mean, places like Rajasthan where you have a desert or
uh,
mountains. I mean, even if people say the mountain ecosystem is so delicate that any
yeah.
movement or
Yeah.
plastic, and you bloody introduce solar PV system which is filled with toxic materials, and if
Mm.
that is okay, and you cannot have a sneaker bar on a mountain
Mm.
because it's plastic, is kind of hypocrisy for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the discussion. I mean, there are the pros and cons are there. I am not right all the time, but still I'm on the if you're an environmentalist, be an environmentalist. You take it to the do the
So
entire.
according to you, this PLI for semiconductor is a different thing, but for PV modules and this is waste of
It
time.
is for yeah, that's what I mean. Instead of investing in PV,
Mm.
invest more in semiconductors
Yeah.
or mobile manufacturing. ऐसे कुछ. I mean, I'm not picking and choosing, but
Mm.
investing. I thought why.
So,
I mean,
okay, let me, we haven't even started the topic yet, but because we went into our, engagements and what discussions we were having on
yes,
PLI scheme and all of that. So, I'll just give you an example. One way to look at all of this is how much solar and how much wind we have overview, right? And we are probably have too much. We have space constraints. Why are you putting money in that? The second aspect is that if you run a business unit, right? You take electricity, you buy it from your distribution companies. Most of the distribution companies are loss making and ridden with debt. Okay, so there's a concept called cross subsidy
yes,
surcharge. So if you're a business unit, they'll charge you 9 rupees, 8.5 rupees per unit because they have to subsidize all the other domestic consumers, I'm guessing. And this practice has gone on for a long time. So this guy who is getting electricity at 9 is highly uncompetitive against Chinese and against global
yes,
order, even if it's
understood.
quality stuff, right? Uh, what this guy has figured out is कि अगर डिस्कॉम से दूर जाके I want to procure some amount of power, say 50%, 60%, 70%. I can maybe invest in a captive plant in my own premises. I asked some developer, yeah, you put that, and it is not going to be a small plant. It will be, a 10 megawatt plant, a 20 megawatt plant. So in the premise or somewhere else where a developer, holds the reins on it, on the plant, or if it is an area where a lot of these small businesses are small medium businesses, a cluster can work together, put a community power plant. These are
Power
all
plant.
systems in our electricity act. So once you are getting your power from these green power plants, then you don't have to pay you
Discom.
the discoms infrastructure in terms of wire that is wheeling the power from the plant to your factory. But according to law, if you're doing this with green energy, इसको green open access बोलते हैं, to be technical about it in terms of what regulations are. They do not have to pay the cross subsidy surcharges. They're paying for the power to the developer
Power.
plant.
Yes.
They sometimes they even have some stake in it. 26% of the plant is owned by these guys, the industry that are actually drawing power from some other party, a developer, as Hero or Tata or whoever. There are many companies in this developing field, so they'll uh, do it. So a lot of demand for such kind of commercial and industrial usage का बढ़ता जा रहा है. Why? Because if you are shaving off the cross subsidy surcharge in your bijli, you shave off almost 2-3 rupees. Cross subsidy surcharge can be as high as sometimes 2.5 units, up to 3 units. In the 9 rupee that you're paying, 3 rupees could be cross subsidy surcharge. If you are saving that, not for your entire electricity consumption, but 50%, sometimes 60%, sometimes maybe 70% even, depending on the kind of plan. So that is and incentivizing these guys, the commercial and industrial users, to set up these power plants which do not have heavy duty regulation or ये सब कहीं करने का जरूरत. Obviously they would still need
Yes.
permission or fallow land and all of that stuff, but they can also be somewhere far away. They don't have to be situated here. They will still use the discoms electricity. They'll do it. I mean, factory could be in the periphery
This
and
part I agree. This
something else.
part I
So
totally
why?
agree. There
So,
is the
so now because there is incentive for these guys, they want to put up the plants, but plants put up करने के लिए हमारे पास quality और quantity में
quantity.
modules बनाने के लिए. So you're putting up a plant which is going to serve the the domestic businesses, but you are the main ingredient you are importing from China. A lot of other stuff also.
Yes,
This PLI may seem like a waste of time, but there are so many ways in which these small
the
businesses
consumer.
looking at leveraging these plants. These are not just large scale power plants in Rajasthan where only discoms buy from them. NTPC sells, discoms buy. So there are this another area where these plants are being used to cut down power from discom, to unplug from discom, not completely, then at least for majority of the your power supply. And to put up these plants, you're still importing from them. So if this PLI encourages PV modules, जो कि Chinese quality, apparently Chinese जो बनाते हैं, they're of the highest quality, और
Quality.
जो US में बनता है, and obviously prices are low. Here we don't have the quantity to feed into the demand, and neither do we have the quality, because all the lines in factories are still old. They change very fast, these technologies, and they haven't
Yeah.
put the newest lines. So I think the PLI might not be completely dud.
No, I'm not saying it would be a dud. Only thing is that maybe it's my personal bias which
Hmm.
is playing into it.
नहीं, the
Yeah,
larger
yeah.
point that you have stuck by is कि भाई mainstay of power will remain fossil fuel, and all of this, if you too heavily depend on these intermittent sources of power which are renewable power, then
Uh,
the economy will go
I
into
mean, see, when you're talking solar power, post installation, it is just maintenance work. I mean, एक
yeah,
engineer चाहिए, and mostly you need is cleaners. But whereas you're running a nuclear power plant,
yeah.
you need a huge amount of people who will be employed for sure.
Hmm.
I'm saying for with 100% surety that they will be employed. At least you will have 200 to 1,500 workers
Sure.
working in the plant.
Hmm.
I mean, and you have these skill-based jobs. Like, you have scientists, you have researchers, you have
Yeah.
engineers, you have degree polytechnicians, degree holders. Then you have so these are what you say skill-based jobs compared to us maintaining a solar power plant or
Hmm.
installation.
Hmm.
Because the role of an engineer in a solar power plant ends with
Installation.
90% with his design itself.
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
Once you design the power plant, then after
Putting it
commissioning,
together, which is very low, sort of low skill job anyway. Putting together
हाँ
structure, उसमें कोई बहुत ज़्यादा hyper.
हाँ so what I'm each time a technology or an energy source. That's why the oil industry is very nobody can say no to it, because the moment an oil industry shuts down,
Hmm.
from the offshore rig, where you have 200, 500, or 1,000 people working.
Hmm.
Then you have tens and thousands of engineers working in one building,
Hmm.
and then you have all these pipeline refinery.
Hmm.
So it's a huge job-based industries which the environmentalists want to shut down,
Hmm. Hmm.
which they can't. And these are I mean, the oil industry is covering all the kind of skills. I mean, from the highest quality of engineers to research workers to the lowest kind. I mean,
Hmm.
your building maintenance, yeah, maintenance come hai. But when you look at a so I'm looking at from a end to end. I mean, you have
Yeah.
solar
Hmm.
ठीक है, industry works only when there is a demand.
Hmm.
India
True.
has demand now. Okay, 10 years down the line, we meet our carbon net zero emission target. उसके बाद क्या, people will like, now we have met the target, अभी इससे ज्यादा और क्या करेंगे? So you have a law. No, this is the reality. You know, you
I understand the underlying skepticism, underlying doubt that you have.
yeah, it's my
over,
mind
over the course of 30, 40, 50 years, this is just a passing trend. This will not cannot be
trend. It's like a fashion statement. Okay, yes, we
yeah.
agree. But in terms of
So
energy security,
I like completely agree with that. Like in the 10, 15 years, things that will happen where China takes a lead. The industry might completely evaporate, as you said, 20, 25 years from now, because everybody would have made sustainability targets and all of that. But in 10, 15, 20 years, till the time it survives and there is still development happening,
some yes, yeah. This
then
I'll
we
agree.
have
This
some
this I
capacity and not completely depend on China, and that money will go into achieving some of that. I don't know how successful it will be.
No, see, as technology progresses, new things will come in. I mean, this
Yeah.
is not the only renewable source of energy. They might invent something. They might bring in nuclear reactors. I don't know, but I'm looking at it as a entire organism that
Yes,
it's
I
not
get it.
yeah. So that way, then India has taken Indians in UK. Speaking of UK, in
Uh,
Hindus in UK are being threatened by uh,
that was a very abrupt jump from the solar energy to Hindus in UK.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that
you're
was,
looking at the future, you're looking at the future, and this is one of the things that has happened. I mean, the Indian community in European countries have started to make money. I mean, they are becoming other than the Chinese, Koreans, and Africans, like what Rohit had said, Nigerians are one of the few populations which make the highest amount of income in US,
mm.
which we did not know till we had that discussion on the other
I
podcast.
think I've been obviously following it on Twitter and seeing people's comments. ये successful or ज़्यादा rich ये सब ना, I think it still sort of does injustice to the actual analysis of the fact, which is that Muslim community will always be inimical towards the um, you
Welfare
know
schemes, basically.
to us, to Hindus in London, not because they have suddenly become successful, earn more, and become rich, that their resentment has risen against them and or whatever.
No,
Uh,
that is on the socio-economic part के economic part पे वो
वो
अभी
है,
socio
वो है, but
हाँ
उससे and while that may be the reason, but sometimes what it does is, instead of helping it, sort of covers up the main core issue, which is Muslims are fanatics in a way that will always be against Hindus wherever they are. Hindus as in the idol worshipping, that is a
no
fundamental of the
हाँ no
उसका
the
रीजन, उसका ट्रिगर उस टाइम पे दिस एंड दैट हो सकता है, बट दैट कैन आल्सो बी misidentified as a trigger, because your bomb is your bomb is playing all that, as your bomb your is ready to go off any time. Trigger could be a thousand other things you can classify
हाँ agree.
economic this and that, but it doesn't matter. So पहले तो Hindus, secular Hindus will have to start learning that
No, this is what I'm scared of. Na, how these tolerant Hindus or our community, for that matter, has been on the Kool-Aid of Gandhiji's ahimsa. कि हम
yeah.
लोग कुछ नहीं करेंगे, they will murder, and once their thirst for blood is gone, then they will leave us alone. But this time it's become an existential crisis. That
Hmm.
is because the next generation is no longer connected to Hindus.
Hmm. Hmm.
But in spite of this, in
They'll
spite
not be.
of this,
Yeah.
they're not being spared. And even more funny part is they have bought in BJP and RSS in UK,
Hmm.
which has no connection. I mean, apart from
That's a clear strategy. They know there is no connection.
हाँ
But once you global media के through global जनता BJP RSS को looks at as some fundamentalist organizations, right? People who don't know, or most people who look at India as through news headlines or whatever not. So these are painted like that. So you just use the already set narrative to leverage
But
it by
this time, since the donations were touched, I mean, every
yeah,
election time, the NRI donations are a big thing, because they are a big
yeah.
factor for pumping money into each political party. The Indian government, for the first time, has at least small ninda, not even kadi ninda, small ninda of the things happening towards the Indian community, they have highlighted. I mean, they have not written Hindu, but still they have written Indian community, which itself is a big thing. I mean, in spite of us, oh, I mean, even Jaishankar, even yesterday, keeps harping about we have overtaken the UK, but does not have the guts to write. The Hindu community in UK is being targeted by radical fanatics. I mean, this was a word which they could have used. It's not. It's not.
So that what you're pointing out is the system, is the symptom. The disease is much larger. So as you said, the funding of the parties by NRI Hindus is a big issue because they are wealthy and they can turn an election or make a party much more resourceful. But they are voting. That is one sort of one set of people, right? The other set you come to, and I'm talking about the same disease which infects all these acts. Those Then you come to all these big industries from Infosys to Tata to Mahindra. They'll all go and endow some chair or something at Harvard, where some of the most radical anti-Hindu research would happen, and in that chair, funded by either Mahindra or Tata or Murthy's. Murthy's gave some $300 million or whatever to digitize our text, Sanskrit text or something. But or maybe the scope or something else. I'm not entirely sure. But they appointed a Harvard Sanskrit professor who is known to be, as in apart from whatever scholar he is, he's a clear bias against the same old tropes of leftists, the Brahminism, the this and that, and Sanskrit not the greatest language, even though he's a scholar of that. So so that scholarship is completely now stained by the his own political mind or whatever prevalent political ideology.
But this time,
No,
they
just let,
don't.
let me
Uh,
complete. So these people who give donations to colleges, these people who give donations to parties, and साउथ ईस्ट एकेडमिक जो हमारे यहाँ से जाते हैं, वो बाय एंड लार्ज वो एंटी इंडिया होते हैं, एंटी हिंदू ही होते हैं, बिकॉज दे आर we do not like Muslims do, we do not do these things for a Hindu cause. ये अपने these people will donate for their own agendas, own cause, which is fine, but it will not be a Hindu centric thing. At the core of it won't be, or at least one of the points will be कि भाई Hindu community, irrespective of Democrat or Republican, needs to be protected, and these are the safety nets you government will have to provide. If you win, this is what you will have to do. You will have to condemn Pakistan, you have to condemn this and that. You जो वहाँ पे सिटी
yes,
काउंसिल कैलिफोर्निया में दे करते रहते हैं, you will have to say बांग्लादेश में their riots and Hindu population is dwindling. Pakistan में it has completely dwindled. Those are the things you politicians, once you win, so that agenda Pakistan will have. If Pakistan ISIS and all these guys are funding think tanks there, they'll or buying other people. Khalistanis have. They went to the extent of even paying
referendum.
paying Rihanna to tweet. Rihanna had no idea about it. It was a complete PR job, right? So you pay. So that you need that clarity of thought that every while is farmers, is Punjab, is Khalistan, but वो ये Sikh,
Singular thought is not there. No, the singular thought is not there.
that is
The
why the richness and all of these things do not necessarily provide a bulwark. Unless you
because the
like
what I was.
thought na
Yeah.
you've come out of India, but your dushman, your existential nemesis remains this guy. He's always known this. You are the one who refuses to see it despite thousand years of evidence or whatever. So unless you wake up to that and all your resources are combined and go into one direction with a clear message that everything will be centered around protection of Hindus and Hindutva.
No, but you have to see the intellectual level of these protests which has occurred. I mean, they assume that every Hindu votes for a BJP or an RSS, and they do not realize that there are Hindus who vote for the Congress and the Muslim
Who
League
are
as
you?
well.
Who are you saying that they don't realize it? They obviously realize it. They are doing protests with knowing that we are this is we're indulging in complete misinformation.
Ah,
That gives them the cover to we are protesting Nazism, fascism by protesting BJP RSS.
ha,
We are beating up people because they're affiliated to RSS, right? It's a neo-Nazi organization in India, right wing ये वो ये सब लेबल लगा दो और उसको even if they एक तो they are brainwashed so they would not know, but even if they intellectually understand that we are just playing a game, they're okay to play that game. This is
no, the victims of violence is what I'm saying. I'm
Hmm.
not even saying about the attackers. The
Yeah,
victims of violence are the same people who supported these fanatics to go against the BJP and RSS.
exactly. And who are these victims? These are the secular Hindus living in the
हाँ,
European Union in UK, who would think it's a Hindu Muslim clashes are such somebody wrote about it, so barbaric and so last century, and only in India can this happen. I'm here now in a progressive rich country where this will not happen. Wait till this Pakistani Muslim population or and combined with all the other Arab countries reaches 20-30% of the town or the county where you're living in, and you will realize, you will know.
no, even the same thing is happening in Sweden or
Hmm.
Netherlands, where there are no Hindus. There is no Hindu or RSS or BJP.
Hmm.
What you say, strawman there to blame, but
Yeah.
it is the same community which is inciting violence, which the world is okay with. This is the part which I don't get. One is this is the same community, irrespective of whether it's a Syrian, Egyptian, or even a Turkish, or even a Pakistani for that matter, who are the same population who are writing in UK as of today. So it is not on any country or anything, is what I'm trying to say. That it is a community based thing, which if the world does not realize, or if the world does not acknowledge this, then we are doomed. I mean, as a country, we will.
You think the world acknowledges things based on their moral consciousness, moral compass, or something that is actually going wrong or injustice? Is that what the world notices? No, world notices based on its own interest. So if that's where I was coming from. If these rich industrialists are endowing or academia, for example, academia has a huge role in setting the narrative. So if your industrialists, three, four, five of them are pouring money into Harvard without a purpose, without at least a singular infused purpose, that whatever happens in our endowments, in these Ivy League endowments, anti-Hindu stuff will not happen. I'll decide this professor, that professor cannot be a part of my chair, cannot do research under my funding. Once you start doing that, then it incentivizes those people who are pro, and disincentivizes those who are completely against and can speak whatever. While as you said कि स्वीडन में और हर जगह पे हिंदूज पिट रहे हैं अब, despite BJP RSS is a rouge. If you keep discussing that, then you don't consider it to be a rouge. It's a rouge used by them, and we should acknowledge right at the beginning of, obviously they are doing it for disinformation. But my ultimate point is that academia, think tanks और ये सब को इन्फ्लुएंस करने के लिए इतना सारा पैसा है इंडियंस के पास, एनआरआईज के पास, और वो लगाते भी हैं, बट that common purpose is lacking, and they themselves don't realize what the common purpose. They don't think Hinduism can be a common purpose. But with as the since Syria Afghan war, as these Middle Eastern population that went there as refugees start growing and becoming more dominant, these NRIs will realize that they are in an existential crisis, and they or their money individually without any direction is not going to save
And
them.
the funny part is the British are getting, what do you say, pulverized between these two communities because they don't know what to do. I mean, they know what to do, but even their police, for some weird reason, keep saying that it's fine, it's safe. Even their MPs, even BBC for that matter, or some other news channel has put in a news piece saying that the Hindus are to be blamed. It is not the Muslims who are provoked, but it was the Hindus who provoked them.
again again because your community is not influencing these guardians and the express your अगर एक common purpose होगा कि okay the narrative is built through academia media think tanks so while we are giving money all of us are giving money in some form of the other to these we are rich people we have political connection we have but our powers are not directed towards helping ensure that this false narrative this bad completely misinformation does not get through. A guardian is not able to write this is a the Hindus are to be blamed even though they're getting beaten up even though their places of worships come under attack they keep getting blamed. Why? Because that common purpose and street power है उनका दूसरी तरफ का street power है. So street power and that folks and all
Speaking of street power, we had this PFI arrest happening in India, and even Rahul Gandhi took a break in Kerala because of the hartals announced by PFI.
wow, okay.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that because the Muslim population in some areas have increased, so the Muslims thought that it is PFI. Why would they, we coming out? They wouldn't hurt us. But these idiots attack them also, attack the population who are Muslim community, and the Muslim community is now enraged in Kerala. How can they attack us? We are supporting them. We are supporting these idiots, and they are throwing stones at our houses. They are destroying our cars. They are destroying our shops. So now it has become a dog eat dog kind of situation there. Now,
Not at all. I like that. I like the sound of it.
so and for some weird reason,
So in PFI protests in Kerala, they started stoning the local public
community,
and
huh?
their houses who are in Muslim
Muslim.
areas are PFI supporters. If not vocal, then at least silent supporters definitely.
Ah, yes, yes, of course. I mean, you saw the kind of hate which Rahul Gandhi brought out when he started the Bharat Jodo Yatra with tweeting about a photo of brown khaki knickers on fire. But they had to lock his container from the outside during the Hartal just in case by mistake Rahul ji comes out and says something stupid against the Hartal.
Oh.
Did you see a Shashi Tharoor who is gunning for Congress presidential post, or KC Venugopal? I mean, these are the two high-ranking Mallus in Sonia's coterie who Darbar who hasn't said a word, who hasn't uttered a word against this Hartal. And this Hartal was for what? An intelligence agency who is working to protect India's interest have arrested potential terrorists who have already trained exported good quality terrorists, because the first suicide bomber was Mallu, as
Yeah.
per ISIS, not as per any other report. As per ISIS themselves in their magazine has reported that Christian convert Mallu guy was the first suicide bomber. So they were exporting high quality, recruiting high quality terrorists, reliable ones, doctors, engineers, veterinary, and in case they ran out of females, they were started rounding up and converting females and exporting them to Syria and Turkey. So, and the other state which I saw such uprising was in Mumbai, where they started raising Pakistan Zindabad slogans.
Pune.
Pune. So so you see, the coastal regions are very highly impacted by PFI arrests.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So I don't see where this is going, but as per their reports, they say that they have trained the people to disrupt Modi when he's in Bihar. This in the future. So I mean, they keep saying that they want to ban PFI. They call it a terrorist organization. They kill at least in Kerala. They keep killing RSS members. They go to their homes and kill. Now the Kerala police has revealed that the arrested people had houses of RSS members mapped out, or places where they go to work, everything mapped out. In case a PFI member was killed within 24 hours, an RSS member or members would be attacked in their homes to create that sense of fear. So they have all this planned out, yet they claim that they believe in India's constitution of secularism and democracy.
नहीं, so banning का the argument is that the people keep saying no, PFI is nothing but a semi resurrection.
Ah,
You keep banning
ah,
them, they'll keep sprouting in some other name. Ban, sure, ban. I mean, I don't know why they're not banning. Maybe this all these arrests would become a part of that. If few people go to jail or completely convicted, then they could burnish the case that the terrorist activities were going on. But I'm surprised that from Kerala it has roots from as you said, coastal parts all the way up to Bihar, Jharkhand, everywhere PFI's cadres are present, their office bearers are present, and they got arrested from Assam, as far as Assam. So it's not just a Kerala phenomenon, although it might have originated from Kerala. PFI is strongest in Kerala, I think, isn't it?
yes, yes. I mean, they got enraged when Saudi stopped their funding. I mean, Saudi did not explicitly say that we are going to stop funding of PFI or extremist groups, radical extremists, but the new king in standing, MBZ, he took a good stand that no more extremism. Now we are also going green. You want to deal with it, whichever country is housing these terrorists, because in the last episode we had discussed this, because most of the terrorists have their bank accounts in US and UK.
True, yeah.
And it's not in India or Pakistan or anywhere. They have their bank accounts in UK and US where it is funded, and these are the countries which stand strongly behind India against terrorism. So either India should call out, which they are called each time Pakistan president makes a speech, then only India calls out Pakistan president. Remaining times there is no the power of reply is not initiated at the UN Security General Council, where each time somebody says, for example, US or, but they are too big to be chastised. Whether it's a US or you,
be chastised. Maybe they want to. I think they started taking them on. They don't want to just for shock and all like Chinese diplomats do. कुछ भी बोल दिया किसी को. So they want to take their own time and build up to that point where it is now expected that something goes wrong. India will say something about it. Not silent like before. I think China was also used to be in 90s probably very silent on global affairs, the duplicities of the West. India has started saying, for example, in the whole oil, Russia buying from Russia during Ukraine war, they keep saying that, भाई ठीक है तुमने ban किया है, US के sanctions हैं, but I'm gonna look out for my own interest. I can't let my inflation go up and let my people suffer. So if oil is available, I'll buy. So maybe that is a start, and yes, it should be. I mean, there's no point keeping quiet. But on PFI front, apparently NIA has 90% conviction rate in their history. So that is one of the highest among any other agencies. So if they get a few convicted, and I'm sure if such a huge operation, they must have had prior intelligence, they must have documentary digital evidence कि किसने क्या plan बनाया नहीं, just like this Kerala plan where they have mapped out all the RSS BJP कार्यकर्ताs so that they can within 24 hours reach their house and kill them.
I mean, you have to see the state's complicity with this. I mean, the state has their own intelligence. The state has their own police. I mean, Kerala, unlike Delhi, which is a UT, has its own police, has its own intelligence agencies within the state itself. And allowing, if NIA can find it, I mean, NIA, I'm saying NIA as rhetorically because, or sarcastically, because we consider them from Delhi, which is quite far away from Kerala, but they have offices in Kerala because we are very active in terrorism there. So when I so no, but it was happening under the intelligence or the police in the state, whether it's Bombay, Assam, or Kerala, Bangalore.
Kerala में तो all this mapping of RSS BJP karyakartas is not happening under Kerala police. It's happening through Kerala police. I mean, there could be a probe or
Yes.
whatever. I don't. Kerala police under communist regime, looking to leak out information about RSS and BJP karyakartas to a radical Islamist organization. They would want the RSS karyakartas gone as well, and the reign of terror to ever be present on them. The communist government, which is in
Yes.
power. So the police probably has collaborated with that with those organizations in Kerala. Other places, because PFI is not that big, I'm sure the local police would know. But as local police is local police, उनको उसमें हाथ डालने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Even where BJP is present, but yeah, that's something that shows the.
But at least Owaisi said, "I am happy." So that he he was, because he was harping about how center is misusing their agencies to what do you say, to create a communal divide between Hindus and Muslims by arresting the terrorists. The terrorists would have taken care of the Hindus by bombing them or killing them. There wouldn't have been a divide.
Yeah.
So OIC is sad that way. But on the other hand, speaking of states, we have another what do you say? क्या बोलते हैं, protest happening in Haryana.
Oh yeah, that is an interesting protest. I didn't know anything about it, but I mean, it was a small protest. It's not countrywide, but only in Haryana.
No, it always starts with Punjab or Haryana, where the
Yeah,
Arhatiyas.
true. But this is
Yeah.
specifically Haryana, not even Punjab.
Yes.
Not right.
Not yeah.
And the gist from, and you correct me if I'm wrong, the gist that I got is that the farmers protested against the laws that gave them some freedom from Arhatiyas to bypass them, are now protesting with the government that those same Arhatiyas who control them more in absence of the law that was repealed later are on strike, and because of them these farmers can't sell their produce on the market, and it's getting destroyed in the rain and all of that stuff. Is that a correct summary of what is going on?
Yeah, I mean, the Arhatiyas want more commission. They don't want to share their commissions with the government. Is the latest protest on. I mean, the farmers have done their agriculture works and they have a good produce. And with these retreating monsoons, is a good time for Arhatiyas to stand their ground, because next comes stubble burning. So that is another issue. So right now, if the government does not procure from the Arhatiyas, this whole agriculture produce is going to go waste. I mean, the moisture content will increase. There will be sprouting of the grains, which will happen, and a good quantity. I mean, our food security won't be compromised just because of Haryana. But if you look at it, it's a loss, because Haryana has close to B or A quality of wheat or paddy, whatever is there. I mean, it's not that great quality, but so they want the government to. They are arm twisting the government to ensure that they pay, and they pay in such a way that the government takes no commission. So basically, give them tax-free money, more tax-free money to buy those Lamborghini tractors.
So government will have to buy at a higher price, and
Yes.
that extra price will go to Arhatiyas essentially, not even to the
Yes. Yes. So they have a 2.5% more. Right now they're getting 2.5% commission. Now they wanted to make double it, a 5%. So it is lying down in the open. And thank you, Haryana and Punjab and JNU, for holding the farmers' protest to empower them.
It just seems like such a all these big Bahubalis types just doing their security wasuli, hafta wasuli type.
Yes.
Arhatiyas ideally should not be in the system, and that is what the law is ensuring, that
no middlemen. No middlemen.
They for what do they want to, what they were getting 2.5% commission for what? What do they do? You don't
No, no, they don't have to do anything. No, they are just the middleman. They take 2.5% from the farmers. If the farmer gets 100 rupees, he gets 2.5 rupees from here, and
Yeah.
from the government also he takes that. So he gets 5 rupees for what? Just for
So
existing.
he is now demanding that government commission.
Yes, he is the middleman. No? So he wants a commission cut from the government as well.
These are the instances where I tend to agree that repealing the law was actually emboldening these elements. Look at them. I mean, this is just pure daylight robbery or loot. You're asking a middleman who is not contributing to any produce when
Ah,
when the law that they protested against wanted to cut them to size, and they have come back emboldened asking for more money now, not being grateful that, oh, our position was threatened, at least somehow we managed to save it. They now emboldened, want more money.
tax free,
Tax free.
tax free.
They are also not tax. Arhatiyas are also out of tax net.
Are all Arhatiyas are farmers.
Mm,
People,
mm.
that's what. No, so that's what I was telling
Big
the.
farmers who
I,
will sell their own produce and
the,
also get others to
ah,
deal with them. Yeah.
so these are the small farmers who are getting issued, no? Because the big farmers, though, even if they make a loss in grains for one season,
Mm,
for them it is fine. They'll spend
yeah.
more money, but they'll get it next season. But the
Mm,
small farmers who might have plans,
mm,
everyone has a plan. कि ये
mm,
करेंगे, वो करेंगे.
mm,
So when their this thing produce gets soggy, goes to waste. All that effort for 3 to 4 months that they have put in,
mm.
they have lost sleepless nights and things like that.
Zero.
We cry, yeah, we cry on a monthly basis.
Mm.
We put in so much effort. I mean, their risk is even more. I mean, for us, sudden downpour is fun.
Yeah, true.
A,
Mm,
a sudden downpour is fun, or a sudden climate change is walk to the park. For them, each climate or each drop of water or each temperature change is a heart attack for them.
mm,
Ki,
mm,
they are doing a business in which they have no control over,
mm.
and it is left to the elements, which is really scary. I mean, if you're looking at from a business point of view, I mean, risk and cons. I mean, the amount of risk a farmer takes is a small scale farmer, not a large scale farmer, because a
Mm,
large scale farmer can afford it. ठीक है, 10 एकड़ में 1 एकड़ गया, 2 एकड़ गया, ठीक है, he will take a hit, but not
mm.
as much as a guy who has only 1 acre of land
Yeah,
or
it'll be
less
destroyed
than.
completely. Mm.
His entire 4 months of loan taking, जो भी है 2,000 rupees that he gets from the farmers, this thing and all is just he can pass by 2,000 rupees
Sustain
with this.
somehow, but yeah, he'll be poor.
And yeah, I mean, even if you think of it as 2,000 rupees, he will survive for a month. No,
Mm.
he we can the inflation price. Even he has to eat. It's not that the farmers don't eat, but these are the same people who came and said, "No, Modi ji is wrong. We don't
Yeah,
want the farm laws."
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
now they have to. I used to feel pity for them, but these days I'm like, no, let the rains come. You know, no. Once you're threatened, once you're back to the wall. You have
Mm.
no other option. You have to go radical, and that's what Modi ji did. He disrupted the entire farm law,
Mm.
the entire agriculture sector which was there. He said, let's disrupt it, let's make it empower each one of them. Even the
Mm.
smallest farmer is like, अरहतिया तुम लोगे, मुझे
Mm.
5% कमीशन चाहिए, ठीक है, मैं जाके पिसके में पैकेट में बांध के
Yeah,
मैं I'll sell it as flour.
yeah,
I don't have
exactly.
to. So now he has no other option. Now he has transported to the Arhatiyas wherever he has to procure. Now he is screwed. A farmer, for us, like I said, is a big risk taking job. He has many factors. Even this Ukraine Russia conflict has impacted the farmer.
Yeah,
Fertilizer prices have gone up.
yeah.
So imagine the kind of risk.
True, true, absolutely.
So
But I mean, they were so stupid though to oppose the farm laws. I mean, it was for their benefit, just for a few Arhatiyas type kisans, big kisan that managed to pretty much sway the entire community, at least in Punjab and Haryana, if others were not not bothered at all. But yeah, what is the solution with this? What do you do with these Arhatiyas, and how do you snatch their ill-gotten entitlement, ill-gotten wealth that they
See,
earn
first
every.
you have to, Modi ji has to stop this appeasement. Every month he has a meeting with the Sikh gurus,
Mm,
which is a good thing. I don't agree. Even the SPG, let Rohit come, then we'll discuss the SPG
yeah.
role. He
Mm,
will have a lot to say about it. So
mm,
I'm skipping it for next episode for anyone who is interested to
mm,
know what is happening in Punjab. So yeah, so Modi ji keeps meeting all these Sikh gurus, and they are the proponents of the society.
mm,
Even though he gets only pagdi and prasad.
mm,
They come, they make him wear a pagdi, they give him their blessings, prasad, but vote will only go to Congress and all.
mm,
Modi ji never gets the votes. Haryana is just it just scraped by. It's not that we did a big BJP had a big win and they cannot do anything. Uh, see, Modi ji is thinking centrally and state wise. That is the problem.
mm,
A PM should not think state wise.
mm,
He can't favor one state over the other, or he has to make central rules based on which state is going undergoing a election.
mm,
This is why he had called for one country one election. State bhi ho jayega, then he has no worries. BJP
mm,
will win for sure, because the entire welfare scheme, yeah, entire thing gets within that period. So you have 4 years of between elections, so it's uniform. You get a road. This is
true.
you get a road. If it was one country one election, then you get a road, you get a road. It becomes like an opera, this thing. But
Yeah.
now it is like you get an airport, you get what do you want, you get this. What do you want, you will get this. So it's not uniform.
Mm,
And all the laws, for example, we have been crying about Hindu reform laws, yeah, free the temples.
mm,
Even when each time before election, say Sadhguru came and made a big movement, like everyone thought, temples will be freed now. And now you see new bogies are coming out. The Waqf board, the
mm,
chand bhi hamare hai.
true.
Every product with land on it is a Waqf property. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that
no,
way.
you're right. Modi ji, hope Modi ji is listening and hope his appeasement. I don't know if he's doing it with good intentions or actually considers appeasement, but whatever it is, people can definitely classify it as appeasement as something that has not worked. So he has to pay some attention towards that.
Especially Punjab and Haryana, he is not getting the traction which for
Mm,
which he thinks he is getting. The traction which I mean, for the things that he has done for Haryana and Punjab, I don't think, and UP. I mean, UP is the only other state where they have got that welfare and things going in large scale. But otherwise, it's more or less, centrally हो
mm,
रहा है बस. It's not a big push. Karnataka में देखो, they made that QR code of
yeah. My.
which is very creative though. I have to give props to
Mm.
them. I like that
Very, very
QR code.
unexpected from Congress because they're so
Ah,
in
yeah,
all the time.
true. That I agree. It was very unexpected from Congress to get really creative, and people got behind it. They were like, Bombay के चेहरे से QR code बहुत अच्छा है. I mean, everyone enjoyed it, and it reached every quarter. I mean, even the potholes got Google reviews. I mean, they went to that extent. So yeah.
No,
So
yeah,
let's see
Modi ji
what.
has to pivot a little bit,
So
especially on
I
this.
mean, the Arhatiyas have said that they go on indefinite strike. So till now, it has not made mainland news, mainstream news.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But soon they'll run out of things, and this will be propped up for
Mm.
sure. I mean, if
Let's see,
I mean,
that might be an opportunity to, just change the game around on the and just convert that loss into somewhat of a neutral loss of farm laws or repeal. Maybe you do something about these arhatiyas. Now that the farmers are also, I don't know if it is possible or not, but can they somehow use this opportunities of arhatiyas just demanding beyond their means, beyond their usefulness, and मेक फार्मर शो कि देखो तुम्हारे प्रोड्यूस पे ये साला और 2.5% और कमीशन मांग रहा है व्हाट इज
हाँ
ही.
तो that's what na Modi ji's whole. I mean, if you look at his entire laws, has been eliminating of middlemen. Whether it is for attestation, yeah,
Yeah.
what do you say, your license, whatever. But only in farming, there's a middleman exists now.
Yeah. True.
Even army, even the defense, he removed the middleman. He
Yeah.
disrupted the whole procurement of the army, and see
Mm.
where we are. Uh, Initial hiccups were there. I'm not saying hiccups won't be there. Hiccups
Mm.
will be there, but he
If
disrupted everything.
any system that has been running for 50 years with a particular problem also, if you remove that problem, there will be hiccups. But in the long run, once the problem is removed, you will heal and the system will work more efficiently. That's what I think he applied
GST,
to
even
everything.
with GST was that.
For some reason it's not happening in farm, I don't, we can't overstate the importance of removing the
Food
Arhatiyas.
security. Yeah, I mean, food security is for the ways that countries have been strong armed. I mean, तुम्हें भूख लगी है, मेरे पास चने चाहिए, मुझे वो चाहिए.
True that,
This
yeah.
is, yeah, it is all strings attached. It was
Hmm.
not no strings attached. We'll send you things as aid, but in return, we need this. Look at Pakistan for that matter. Pakistan is a very good example of a country run by aid, only on aid.
Yeah.
Foreign aid, they get
and
foreign aid.
and and they are by the way, they are not, they are dependent for other things, but food security wise they are also sort of self reliant. So even though food, without uh, being dependent on other countries of food, other countries can dictate terms to you so much like they do with Pakistan. Imagine if you are food deficient, then people will take you for a ride. They will pawn you off in the market. So food
Uh,
security is absolutely important. Making it efficient is important, and getting rid of Arhatiyas is important in doing those things. How it will happen, what they can do.
no, they had the solution. It's not that they don't know or they have to sit and think.
I mean,
It
they
was
had
a
the solution on
three-page
the paper.
document.
They had the solution on the paper. They could not implement it. No? So maybe some
Uh,
off-field type implementational strategy they'll have to do, something that does not
or
get from law.
or they'll have to start this like ONDC, what they did for the
Yeah,
street vendors.
something like
See,
that.
you register on your own. We will connect you to the
Yeah,
factories for free. I mean,
yeah.
if what is that? Whichever wheat
Mm.
producing companies there, yeah, rice producing companies, they will attach you directly. You become a vendor directly. You become an Arhatya. Stop being a
Exactly.
farmer.
Yeah. You don't have to
uh,
sell to the government. You can sell to a private factory.
so even if through ONDC they can do that. I mean,
Yeah.
they have the tech. It's
Exactly.
not
That's
that.
what my point was, that there is बोलते हैं ना वो कि there are many ways to skin a cat. So farm laws was one direct way of addressing this problem, but there are various other small things that you can do to pretty much sideline their hatiyas altogether. For example, they're digitizing records and giving farmers the money instead of paying hatiyas, who can then pay some to farmer, keep their commission. All the money is now going to farmers, at least in some parts. They were when Amrinder Singh was, I think, the chief minister, Punjab was dilly dallying in doing that also, digitizing all the farmers accounts so that money cannot go directly. I don't know how, what status is of for that currently, but yeah, there are many ways that it can still happen. Failure of law is not just at the end of the world. How it will happen, when it will happen, is something we can discuss on our podcast.
Yeah, when it comes to Punjab and Haryana, we have a resident expert
Yeah,
who
exactly.
can who can go on days on really exposing those idiots in
Yeah,
the far in every sector. In fact, not
true.
just
Yeah.
agriculture, but in
Politics,
everything.
religion,
Yes.
yeah, everywhere. So,
Yeah.
on that note, as we remembering our old comrade who could not come for 2 weeks, he'll come to
Next week,
refreshed and fighting
charged.
and ready to hit the ground running. So
Yeah.
we'll see you, every one of you, and thanks for listening. Hope you
Yeah.
enjoy, and also two people effort, and we will welcome back Rohit next episode.
And yeah, and please keep us do keep us sending your thoughts.
Yep.
Engage with us. We don't mind the radical thoughts as well. We want we want thoughts of all. We welcome thoughts from all point of views, not just neutral one, but you can go on either side of the conversation as well, so that we have new perspectives. So yeah.
So yeah, we'll look forward to that. That just makes the thing more interesting. I mean, just like today, we dedicated large chunk of our session to discussing the feedback. The discussion, sort of went on a tangent on what we were feedback we were getting on Twitter. So those feedbacks are can spice things up.
Yeah.
So end them. And for
All
now,
right then. Yeah. Signing off.